Merry Christmas. And if it's not Christmas when this video comes out, then Happy New Year. Overall, I'd say it's been a pretty good year for the channel. We had some really high highs, like unexpectedly well-performing videos. And then we had some really low lows, but there's not much you can do about that. The good thing is that for the most part, I was able to keep my promise of posting every single Friday. Every single Friday. Okay, so I lied. But I was in New York and then I got sick. It was a whole thing. This video got filmed and then scrapped. It's not been pretty. But I thought as a end of the year celebration, I could do a Gameroom Tour as like kind of a yearly thing I could go over, and I could show you what I picked up over the year. So let's get straight into it, shall we? Oh, still a little sick, but we're gonna live with it, alright? Now that we're down here, we can go over some of the more interesting pieces in my collection. Starting with, probably the most sought after piece would be Earthbound for the SNES. According to price charting websites, it sells for around $300, which luckily I was able to get it for a fair bit cheaper. But I would definitely recommend that if you haven't played it, that you play it through some other methods. Trust me, it'll be a lot more worth it. Next would be my complete copy of Animal Crossing for the GameCube. Today we'll be visiting E-Girl Isle, truly the place for the Tier 100 Patreon members. So obviously I chose the one that looked like the prison. I think altogether, to get with the memory card, the manual, and the disc, this sells for around $50, I think. I don't know. I'll double check that while editing this. My copy of Legend of Zelda for the N64. Now, starting the miscellaneous category, we can move into some of my more weirder and wacky stuff that I have. Starting with my one and only limited edition console, my God of War PSP. I absolutely love the design on this, and the color is absolutely gorgeous. Nintendo Power magazine. And then getting even more weird and wacky, we move on to my Taiko no Tatsujin drum controller, which you would control by going. Very fun. And then probably my favorite controller that I own would be my Project Diva for the PS3 gamepad right here, which you would obviously play by using these buttons right here. Very nice. That reminds me, actually, while I was in New York, I was actually able to go to the Nintendo store, so stick around at the end of the video if you would like to see some stuff that I picked up. But while we're at it, I thought it might be interesting to show you. I don't know if you could hear that, but my toilet just refilled. So, I thought it might be interesting to show you how I authenticate my games. So, let's go authenticate some games, shall we? Alright, who's ready to authenticate some games? I swear it's more interesting than it sounds. First of all, you're going to want to compare the label to a real official copy. You're going to want to make sure that the colors match up, and that the actual shape of the label matches up as well, and that none of it is cut off. Then, second, you'll look at the spine and make sure that the font and color matches the official copy. And then most importantly, you want to look at the back and make sure that there's an imprinted number right there. Mine says 40. And you also want to read the back and make sure that it's not gibberish. However, if you're hard to convince, then the only way to truly authenticate it is by opening it up. However, in order to get one of these screwdrivers, you're going to have to order it on Amazon for $7 or $8. It's called a Gambit screwdriver, and it works on most Nintendo cartridges. Opening it up, the first thing that you want to immediately look for is that Nintendo copyright right there. Second of all, you're going to want to grab your phone again and switch to look at the official motherboard and make sure that the shape of it actually matches up correctly. Then if all of those factors match up, then congratulations, you have an official game. So, for all of you asking, yes, my copy of Wheel of Fortune Deluxe Edition for the SNES is official. I wish people would stop asking about this. I did not forge it. People these days. On top of the shelf are the consoles that I don't usually use, and guarding it is the heir to my riches. Right here are my N64 games. My pathetic Genesis collection, my NES games, my Game Boy, and my Switch games. Below that are my Wii and Wii U games, and my Atari games. Below that are my Xbox 360 games, and my Wii games and PS3 games below that. Gesundheit. And even more below that are my Xbox games. Up here are the gavco.lol props. Right there is the knife from Sebastian's Knifey video from High on Life. Back there is the helmet from the Fallout video. The tattoos from the Mario tattoo short. And codename Steam. Below that are the Pokemon VHS tapes. My NES. And my PS1 games. Here is where I actually play my games. Right there is my SNES Junior, aka the SNES revision, my Xbox 360, my television, my N64, my DS and 3DS, my original Xbox, my PS3, my GameCube, and my PS2, with a copy of Persona 3. And then over here is where we edit our videos and our voiceover situation. I just did an entire segment without recording. Isn't that fun? I know, it's really fun. But now that we're down here, we're going to go over stuff that I picked up from the Nintendo store. If you could get over the New York City smell of weed everywhere you go, it was phenomenal. It was so beautiful in there. Downstairs, there was a rack of games in the back with a big Bowser statue to the side and then some plushies in the middle. On the top story, there was a Pokemon corner, there was an Animal Crossing corner, there was a Splatoon corner, and there was a Legend of Zelda corner. And then in the middle kind of was like every amiibo ever released, and then a museum almost of old consoles, and I loved that. It was excellent. So if you're in the New York area, I definitely recommend it. You should go. So if you made it this far, then please like and subscribe. It's the only way to support us right now to make it next year even better. We only started this channel in September, and we've made decent progress. So let's make next year even better, shall we? Have a great night.